Welcome to Get Your Shoot Together, the photographer's podcast where we discuss studio, business, life, and keeping it all in line. I am Kira Derryberry.
And I am 1 year older Mary Fist Taylor.
Yay! Happy birthday, Mary Fist Taylor!
Thank you, Kira Derryberry. How are you?
I am good. I am obviously celebrating your birthday all day long.
All day long. I'm going to tell you what, the Derryberrys killed it with the text messages this morning. Just so y'all know, Sweet Lucy's and Anne, Steely Dan sent me a little text message, and then Kevin Derryberry's. It's going to go down in the history of one of the best little birthday shout outs I've ever received. Fantastic.
I wonder if we should post it on the page.
I kind of feel like it should be posted somewhere because I don't think those should just sit on my phone. They're too awesome to not post.
Oh, well, they honestly, they are very excited about your birthday. Obviously, Steely Dan was very excited about your birthday.
He looked it. He did not look it. No. Steely Dan has one look.
Yeah, it's
semi.
It's kind of like blue steel. You know, okay. It's kind of like
it's very blue steel.
Yeah,
yes.
It's always just like one like very serious.
Why are you looking at me? Why are you taking my picture?
And anytime like a child tries to pick up a cat, and when cats don't really love to be picked up, and it's very obvious.
I could tell. But Lucy did a great job. That was so sweet. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, happy birthday. I was also celebrating your birthday as I like to do at the Whole Foods this week.
You did go to the Whole Foods this week.
I've been to the Whole Foods this week, but I have to tell you what happened. So actually, Kevin and Lucy and I went to Whole Foods, and we're sitting by the front door. Like there wasn't, because here's what's happened: is the Whole Foods happy hour has become so popular in Tallahassee that everyone knows about it now, and so there's limited seating near the actual bar area, wine area. So you have to actually like be exiled to the front of the store where there's some like extra seating where you can have your dinner. So we got our dinner.
I can just picture y'all now sitting like on a bench, like holding your glass of wine, trying to eat your like pizza.
That's what happened. So we're sitting on this like, shady little corner near the trash cans by the front of the store, by the door. And we're eating. And all of a sudden this woman, I'm kidding you. I mean, I'm not kidding you. She walks by the trash cans right next to me. And she slips on a tiny puddle of water. I mean, the tiniest puddle of water. And it was like a cartoon style, like slip on a banana peel, both feet up in the air, falls hard on the ground. And then, of course, everyone rushes to her. We all, try and get her up and everything and sit her down at our table, and the Whole Foods manager's coming over. Everybody's super apologetic. And it was awful. It was awful. And I kept looking at the puddle of water. I was like, that's so small. And so then another lady comes out that works there, and she brings a sign, a caution wet floor sign.
Right.
And all of this is happening. And this woman is like holding her arm, and they're taking a report, and they're getting her some ice, and they've brought her some water, and they've done all the things. And this customer comes in the door and sees the caution sign, and he goes, "Whoop, better not fall here. Don't want to have to sue Whole Foods." He has no idea that just happened.
It literally just happened.
He's just walking in. He's like, do. I hope I don't slip and fall. Because lawsuit waiting to happen. And he's just making this like silly joke because he sees all these employees next to the sign. He doesn't notice the woman. I'm just like trying so hard not to laugh. Oh my God. So,
but the lady was okay, I'm assuming.
She was fine. It was it sounded and looked worse than I think it was, but right. I'm sure she'll be sore, and I'm sure she will be following up
with the Whole Foods,
especially based on that guy's derpy advice.
Well, maybe it'll cut down on traffic and you'll get better seating.
I'm telling you, maybe. I mean, it's a dangerous place to be. I always wonder about like grocery stores that make those floors like that because it's like a spill zone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
you know what it's kind of like? Have you ever been to a pool that literally was the outside an ice skating rink practically? You know what I'm talking about? I'm like, what in the seventh ring of heck do they make this pool floor out of? Like when you get out of the pool and all of a sudden you're like some, cartoon character. Whoa. Like, and I'm like, God, was there not any butter substrate? Was there nothing that they could make this of that wasn't literally glass?
Yeah. It's not really well thought out.
It's not.
At the pools. I think most of the pools that I have ever been a member to, like, were also built in like Caddyshack days.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I do know. Yeah.
There's like a really old country club here in town that has not been updated. None of them have been. And so this one is what is definitely like the Caddyshack country club,
Love it.
and everything is like that. Everything is all not safe. 60s safe. We'll call it 60s safe.
Pre-OSHA, pre all that stuff. It was just rub some dirt on it. You'll be fine.
Oh, yeah. You'll find go walk it off.
Yeah, walk it off.
Walk it off.
Well, so y'all were at the Whole Foods. You weren't watching the sports ball this weekend, which obviously it's sport ball season for me. So I love me some college football. So yeah. And I love just PS group. I love to constantly text Kira about college football so she can just literally reply, "What are you talking about? Why are you talking to me?"
Sports ball. So Kevin, I was like audibly disappointed. He said, I forgot that football season started this weekend. I completely forgot. And so, and also, we went to Alabama, but he works at FSU. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, what time is the game on? He goes, well, the Florida State game is on at such and such time. And then the Alabama game comes on at 3:30. And I was like, 2 football games? Why? I was like, wait, do we have to watch them both?
Well, you don't have to watch an Alabama game. They're just going to roll over whoever they play. And
true, but not so when I was in college. It was miserable. I think part of the reason I don't enjoy it, college football, is because when I was in like the mecca of college football places, like we were losing so badly. Everyone was so angry and drunk and upset. Yeah. Like everywhere I went, you'd go out. You might as well just stay at home. Like, I mean, every party, Kevin and his brother used to throw parties all the time. And every single one of those parties, his brother used to get so loud and like throw beer cans and stuff and just get super angry. They were Kevin would just shut down and say nothing. Mm-hmm. And then Bo would just get super, super angry and throw things. Yeah. And so I just sort of like hung out in Kevin's bedroom watching Back to the Future on the tiniest TV I've ever seen.
Right. Because that was the only VCR tape he had?
That's pretty much the only VCR tape he had was Back to the Future. So I just watched that every Saturday.
Oh, Marty McFly. That's awesome. Speaking of the future, what you got on the butt? I know you're busy. I know we're both busy, but gearing up for, I don't know about you, but it's this awesome like time where we gear up and we're busy with fall family sessions and all of this stuff. And then there's always that weird lull, which we a few years ago started filling, or not a few years ago, for many years now have filled with mini sessions, or what we call our holiday quick takes. And it's, there was always that struggle with me of whether to do them or not, are they off brand or not? But it's just something our clients absolutely love. They love this opportunity to come in every year and get a nice image for the holidays, holiday cards, whatever it is. And it fills the books, and it's always a really great revenue stream. So what do you do? Do you work with, I know you do.
I do. Mini sessions. I have a love-hate relationship with mini sessions because
Me too.
Yeah, because I started out doing them. It was like, everyone's offering them, so you have to offer them too. You know what I mean? Like it's just the competition in town. And so like it feels like the clientele have come to expect, especially during this time of year, right before we really kick off into the holiday season, they're expecting and maybe even waiting for mini sessions, and it wasn't until this year that I sort of reformatted it, probably much more in line with the way you guys do it. But, before I was like offering a set of digital files and a small set of digital files and like a couple of pieces of product, but there were no add-on sale opportunities. I mean, I always kind of tried to fool myself into thinking that there would be.
Sure.
But there was very few add-on sales. But also the plus side of it, it was I would shoot it and I would be delivering those things and then I would be done with it.
Right.
So that I could move on to my bigger sessions. But this year, I really decided to change things. I decided, if people don't sign up for the mini sessions, it's in full force the way that they did before. It's okay if I do fewer because I'm going to make these fewer make much more sense for the way my business is. And so I started doing mini sessions that were really just faster so that you can get in and out. So it's just faster for your family to get this done. And it does come with like a discount maybe on additional items, but it's an in-person sale. They've got to come back in. We do the order. We get what they need, design a card. I mean, like the whole thing worked so much better for me this year. Is that how do you guys do it? How do you guys, make it like more of a sampling rather than a super sale?
Yeah, good question. And so this is the thing I don't understand. And you're exactly right. What I've noticed you'll see it on social media or, what have you, other photographers, all of a sudden this time of year, they start running these fall minis, family minis, holiday minis. And I'm like, that would be like, Target putting, wrapping paper, holiday paper on sale, the week before Thanksgiving, or, putting school supplies on sale. It's silly because now's where people are going to buy it. Why are you discounting and offering minis for something that it's an incredibly sellable product this time of year? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. So we do them. They're very, very limited. And they're also super nailed down, and they're very themed, which, anybody that knows our work and knows me, heard me talk, we do nothing themed. Like, we don't do a lot of themed stuff, but we do once a year for the holidays, which means we have essentially 3 or 4 different little sets that are almost in a round in our tiny little studio. And like, we just have this one set that's just a white carpet with a white bench and a wreath. And we have a little winter wonderland area and a tree that I have a designer come in and decorate. And we photograph mostly kids, sometimes family, the whole family. And we photograph them on each of those little sets. They order on the spot, and we sell, very locked down collections, and we design their cards, and that's it. So it's incredibly nailed down. Like, nothing else I ever do is going to be on a set or a themed set. So if you want me to photograph your family outdoors right now or do something, create that's absolutely never going to be discounted.
Right.
So you see what I'm saying? So it's so different from what I do on a regular basis.
So is it a holiday theme?
It is.
Okay.
It is.
So tell me so when they make their product purchases, obviously they're doing, probably cards and things to send out. What does that look like as far as the physical products go?
Yeah. So we've been really lucky. We run a really high average on these, and they're really a low buy-in, meaning I think the session fee's like $49, and we have collections that start at maybe $99 or $129. But the reason that our averages are so high is they're based on poses. So for example, if you're going to do that base collection, which I can advertise all day long, collection starting at this night, it's one pose. Now, I already said we have those 3 to 4 little sets. And of course, my goal as in the camera room is to get a perfect expression on each set. And if I have time, these sessions are 30 minutes to the T, because they're lined up to get in.
Right.
And if I can, I'll do breakdowns, meaning if there is a whole family, I'll do just the kids, I will try to do little tiny breakdowns on them, on some of the sets, like in front of the tree or on the white background. So people want to buy more poses. So the more poses they buy, they have to go up in bigger collections. And we sell prints, holiday gift cards, which I am not a graphic designer. I love that White House system where I just
me too.
Drag and drop, and those are all their choices. That's it. So you want, do you want this card or this card? Like, I don't have like 3 million different options. I'm not custom designing gorgeous cards like so many of our friends do. It's just not my thing. And then we started offering, and it was huge this year, 2 things: little holiday decor pieces, which are what do they call them? The image blocks from White House Custom Color.
Oh yeah.
Where you can do multiple images and they kind of stand out. It's almost like it's not a gallery wrap, but it's like they kind of stand out. So you have a base, and then you have maybe like 3 5x5s, and they stand out from it. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I totally do. It's like a cube.
Yeah. And they also have the ones that hang on the wall. So you can do a small, medium, or large. The reason people like them and the way I sell them is they're holiday art. So you put these out when you decorate for the holidays, you pull these out and you hang them on your wall. Maybe you're going to take down something else or what have you. And I have some people that have started collecting them, and they all are very themed as far as like, I use digital paper or whatever, and very, themed backgrounds. They look very holiday, either blues and silvers or reds and greens or whatever the decor that works for the family. And then these adorable little 3XM, 3XM folios, who I love. And thank you, Ronan Ryle. Shout out to him because he actually shared our podcast today. I don't know if you saw that and said how
Thanks,
fun and brilliant we are. But they sell these little red folio boxes, so I can put a full set of the proofs in there with a really cute little red USB. So if they buy my big collection, which is, I think, $800, it comes with this adorable little keepsake box, and it says Holiday 2019 or Holiday what have you, or they can personalize it because that's how 3XM rolls. You can do that with a little set of proofs and the USB, and they can collect these for every holiday. So people want that. They want that folio box. So that's why my average tends to be high, because you have to invest at this level to get
those things.
Or if you buy it a la carte, you might as well invest in the collection.
So it's seasonal art. So it's not infringing on, like, say, if they're ready to have a family session in January or in February or whatever. It's not like they have to wait a whole other year because that was for seasonal stuff.
Exactly. There's no way someone's going to look at a beautifully lit and posed, because I'm still a snob about that. They're not going to look at their family in this little blue with little tiny fir tree wonderland and go, we were going to go buy a canvas, outdoors, or, a formal canvas, but this is fine. There's no way. Like, it's a great 8x10. It's great for these holiday art pieces. It's great for, like I said, the cards that go out, but it's not something that you're going to replace and print on canvas or.
I think that's key. I mean, I think coming up with that seasonal item, that makes so much sense to me, because also it's kind of off menu.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And it's kind of like, you can only get these, once a year from us. It's very exclusive. And then it doesn't stop them from, like, scheduling another session with you at some point. And also it does stop my larger family session clients sometimes opt to do the mini session. This is what I found is, like, some of my larger session clients moved into mini sessions because it's convenient and fast and whatever, and they just needed cards or whatever. But then they no longer were full session clients anymore. You know what I mean? Because they really are able to get the same thing. It just takes less time.
Oh, you're exactly right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're exactly right. I think I think a lot of studios kind of mini session themselves right out of business, because if you're going to set up in the park on a beautiful fall day and photograph my family and give me the family, the family together and maybe a couple breakdowns, and for, $300 or whatever, give me some files and some prints. I don't need to come back and have I don't think you're phoning it in and giving me half the amount of work. You're still posing our family. You're lighting it. You're giving me you're giving me your eye, your art. So I don't know why I would have to come back and pay full price. Like, that's what doesn't make sense to me. So that's why ours is so incredibly, it is almost off brand. The only reason it's not is because we've been doing it for 20 years. So people we'll release the dates next week and we'll be full by the end of September. Like, it fills up,
So when are you shooting those? Like in October?
No, we don't start until the week before Thanksgiving. And that there's usually 2 days a week that we'll do them. And that's all we do, because it is 30 minutes. Like, I photograph for 30 minutes and then I sell, and then vice versa. Jamie and I are just rotating camera room and order room, which our studio is tiny, but it works.
Are you selling same day, or are you?
Same day. Yep. Photograph them.
Good.
And as soon as they tell them to, have a cookie or chill out, I go download the card and maybe do a quick cull. I don't edit anything for ourselves, but I'll do a quick cull, meaning if any light didn't go off, bad expression, whatever, cull them out, use Pro Select, sell. And then they're usually delivered within 2 weeks, depending on what they order. But
wow. Okay. So, cause that's how I do my headshot sessions, I mean, it is like, I have 30-minute sessions.
Yep.
I get them, I download the images right away, and I just have a really good system of narrowing it down. Why couldn't I apply that to this?
Exactly, because people are in a hurry and it's the holidays and time is of the essence. So, and if they want cards, that whole process, you got to get it designed. Even if you're using that awesome White House system, I still need to email them the proof and they have to approve it and get them, it just takes time. So people love the fact that they're photographed, they're ordered. I always will. A couple other things is I'm always like, okay, so, let's make sure we get some holiday gifts. And I will do a plug to buy gift certificates, meaning I kind of already have some like pre-wrapped packages that if they're still working on their holiday shopping, they can buy gift cards for friends and family, to give as a holiday gift. So that's another thing. If you do like these type of minis around the holidays, push the idea of selling gift certificates for them to give to their friends and family. I had one grandmother one year that came in. She brought her grandchildren, and I said, oh, are you interested in purchasing a gift certificates today? This is a great gift for the person that has everything. And she bought like 10 on the spot, just goes, oh my gosh, one-stop shop, and just wrote, bought 10, $500 gift cards.
Wow.
Wow. And they're pre-wrapped, ready to roll. All she had to do was put her name on it.
Okay. So logistically, not, I'm asking for a friend, certainly not myself.
Yeah, no.
If I did it this way, because you're really kind of like changing my perspective on how this should go, because I got to be honest, I really don't like doing mini sessions. I find them to be rushed, and I find them, in the past, the way I've been doing them. Yeah. But I don't have a problem with doing, really my headshot sessions are mini sessions. I don't have a problem with doing it that way at all. So like, can I schedule like
an hour? So
an hour for each call. Yeah.
So there's been a few times and like I was busy. I couldn't come in the day that we scheduled them. I was busy with my family or kids or whatever. And Jamie was by himself and he would just schedule hour blocks. So he would photograph and sell. And he just would schedule those hours. And, of course, the orders are processed because we use post-select. It's printed out. They go into the production folder, and then I could come in the next day and put them into production and take care of them. But it's just it's literally from like 9 a.m. to 6 or 7 every 30 minutes or hour on the hour, depending if you're working on it by yourself. So however you do your headshots, I would do it exactly the same way. I would photograph, I would go to your station, download, do your quick call, load them up into your ProSelect, folder and sell, and then take their money, and then next.
And then it's done. And then you've got the order, and then all you have to do is like get the images they purchased retouched, which so you don't, and then because we've talked about that before, not retouching before, the sale. So as long as everything looks, great out of camera, which is not a problem here in the studio.
Exactly.
Then little things like, oh, don't worry, we can head swap. I've suggested that before. When we got baby's only looking in 2 photos, then we'll grab baby's head and put it in.
Right. Or if they bring a dog or something like that, every once in a while we have to do a head swap, which of course we charge for. But, people hire us because we're professionals. So, one of the first things I always say, even if it's a repeat client, one of the first things I always say when I sit down to do a sale is mini session, full session, whatever. Hey guys, just so you know, I am sharing with you the images that are straight out of the camera. Nothing has been done to these images yet because we're going to work on this together and we're going to make these decisions together. So just understand that your finished products are going to be to your liking. And I'll say, because sometimes people like a little bit more, a little bit less, and I want us to discuss it. And then also everything on our walls is finished, and your portraits are going to look like that or probably better. So I'm just, handling that objection of, oh, that stray hair or shine or, whatever. I'm just telling them, look, I've done nothing yet. This is just raw. We're going to work from here together. And I do find more and more, especially, our clients are more savvy technologically and everything else, that some people do want a little bit heavier retouching or a little bit lighter retouching. Or, when we photograph obviously a ton of, high school seniors, some want to look flawless and some don't want you to touch a hair on don't want anything touched. So I always ask the client, where is your level of, where do you want this to be? Because I'm good with that, because that's not my style. I've had other people say, well, that's my look. My look is I said, your look is your retouching? Wow. My look is my quality posing or lighting or, expressions, personality. That's my look, not how heavy the retouching is, because let's face it, there's tons of apps on our phones that can add really good and really bad retouching these days.
Yeah. Well, so they can. I completely agree with you. I always say that when I'm starting out, just showing raw images to people, in the order room, I'm always like, hey, we're going to be kind to ourselves and remember,
yes,
that I just want to know if you like your expression, the pose. There's so many things that we can, nip and tuck.
Yeah.
So I just want to put their mind at ease, because women, the moms, they're the absolute worst.
They are.
Myself included.
Me too.
When I'm just like, oh, my arm. Oh, I look pregnant. Or no, like all those things. I've heard it all. And it's usually, honestly, tell me if you agree with this. Is it usually the really good looking moms that are super, super upset about oh my God, I hate my nose. I hate my face. I hate my hair. I hate my whatever, and you're just like, oh my God, like you're stunning.
Yeah. No, it's
know?
so true. It's so true. And the good news is that, as professionals, we handle a lot of it in camera. We know when we need to, push a body pose a little bit here or there or do things. And the same thing with these, just because it's a mini session doesn't mean I do any less. You know what I mean? Like if it's a mini session and mom shows up and she's got on like light pants or something, of course I'm going to angle her body and push, so I'm handling most of that, in camera, but I love that. You're exactly right. Just because I'm selling straight out of the camera doesn't mean that, that there's nothing wrong with them, but I always say, I like that what you said, expression. Guys, we're choosing if you like the mood of this and the expression and, the pose, everything else, it's totally fixed. And then I'll usually joke and I'll say, have you ever seen my headshot? And then, or something like that. Because anytime you can make yourself, vulnerable or put yourself in that position, and I think it sets people at ease. But yeah, I think selling the same day, and especially if you're doing something holiday centric, because people are just so busy. I mean, getting people to come back in during the holidays is a nightmare for us.
It is. But, for years, when I didn't have a studio, and I think I know a lot of our listeners don't.
True.
I know it's scary to change a system that you've been doing every year, because I was also one of those people that it's like, okay, well, it's just so much easier to like just do it the way I did it before, because even though I didn't love the way that turned out, it was just, at least it kind of worked. And I know, but like going out and doing many sessions on location is still fine. You just still need to schedule that in-person session.
Exactly.
Order session, which will just be a separate day.
So how did you handle that? So that's a great question. And I struggle with this all the time, because I do a lot of, consulting or work with people, and not all of them have studios. So I'm always struggling. So, if it's a regular portrait session, we can come up with some workarounds or schedule that in-person selling. But, some people, they have full-time jobs, and honestly, trying to fit in-person sales on top of the sessions, it's hard. Like, what did you do? How did you handle it when you were?
Well, I did it last year, so basically I did back-to-back 30-minute, well, they're really 20 minutes with like a little bit of a 10-minute buffer in between sessions. But I just, marathoned out mini sessions in the studio last year. And then, and I didn't do any mini sessions on location, I don't think, because that to me is like too much. I need to be able, if we're going to go out on location, I want to spend time with you out there. You know what I mean?
And they need to pay full price if you're going.
And they need to pay to go on location. Yeah. But in the studio anyway, I'm doing them back to back. And then I just separately scheduled people. I did have people that had scheduling problems after that. I made, because it's my busiest season of the year, and because it's when I work the longest hours, I made concessions, and I had a couple of after hours order sessions and stuff. I mean, that's the thing, especially when you're by yourself, it's not like I could just like schedule, well, okay, I'll see if I can schedule someone to come in and do your order for you, like, so I can sit at home in my pajamas. I mean, unfortunately, for me anyway, that was kind of the name of the game. And I'll still do that. I end up doing a lot of that this time of year. But I'm not sure how to avoid it unless you're going to just give away something with the session and sight unseen.
Yeah. I just don't know that I would do it for a mini session. Like, I guess that's like, absolutely this time of year, I'll tell you right now, this time of year, we worked all this past weekend. I worked on Labor Day. We have big, family portrait session Saturday and Sunday this weekend, but we've met with them, we've consulted, we've done a pre-proposal, we've done the workbook, like it's all done. Like, I've done everything, but I pretty much know what the sale will be at this point, so that's why I wanted to do it. So the mini session thing though, I would struggle with, that's why I think making it
doing
as
it after
easy
hours
as possible. Yeah. So if you don't have a studio though, and you're doing mini sessions, let's just talk about this for a minute, because a lot of people are in this position, and I think that still can be profitable and be a great thing. So if it were me and I wanted to offer something like that, it would be so incredibly, it's so incredibly strict, I guess, meaning, no, we're not going to go all over the park. It's this one location at the park. It's just the family unit. It's like one pose, meaning, or essentially one pose, maybe, I don't know. Like, I wouldn't do the entire breakdown. I'd give them, what do you want to do? Do you want to do the whole family? Do you want to do, no, it's not the whole family. Add in the grandparents, bring the dog. Like, no, not for a mini session. And We're not changing clothes. It's not color and black and white, all these things. And then how do you handle the sales from there?
Well, okay. So maybe when you're booking the sessions, you're doing a tandem booking for the order, like a pre-booking for the order session.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like you're selling the time spots and then you're also having them block off their order session date or order session time and then go ahead and get that out of the way. I know a lot of photographers are part-time and weekends are actually when they're shooting these things. So maybe weekends are a good time for them to do the order sessions too. So you book it on a Saturday and then Sunday you schedule an entire day of blocks of
sales
of your sales, if you're part-time or if this is your second job or, that sort of thing. Because everybody's starting from somewhere.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, you obviously could do it as a pre-sale, meaning you're taking away your ability to upsell probably from there. You're taking a lot of it away, but at least that every single session you're getting X number of dollars. You know what I'm saying? And then you just can, I guess, essentially post them or what have you, and you say, okay, this is what you bought. Pick what I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I have seen many sessions that are like flat rates that include digital files, but they're not giving it away. You know what I mean?
They still can be successful. Absolutely.
Yeah, they still can be successful. If you're charging an appropriate rate for your digital files, maybe it's just 3 digital files or something like that. I mean, and that's the only way you can make it work because there simply aren't enough hours in the day.
Exactly.
Just make sure you're getting what you're comfortable with for that being the final sale. Because it's very unlikely they're going to be adding on anything.
Exactly.
If they're not with you or if they're purchasing the digital files outright. I don't have a problem with selling the digital files for a mini session either, as long as it's being charged for appropriately and it also includes some sort of thing that they can hold in their hand. That's the idea. So I think there's ways around it. I just, it breaks my heart a little bit when I see amazing photographers. I mean, really amazing photographers selling 10 digital files, or I've saw somebody do like 40 digital files or something, even for like $400. You know what I mean? I'm like, wow, that's a lot of work. 40 digital files for $400. I mean, that's an obscene amount of work for you.
Yeah.
And that's not a mini session at that point.
Oh, heck no.
It's really not, you know what I mean? So like if they're doing the $99 sales and it's coming with 5 to 10 digital files. I mean, really that's the end of it just makes me sad because like that their work is so much better than that. Yeah. And I think it's the fear that they can't get more for that work.
There is. It's so much about fear. And I love what you're saying because, people say, well, it's easy for you to say because you have a studio or you have, a business partner or whatever. Granted, I own that 100%. So what I hear you saying is, so if you are work on your own or, and you have a full-time job and you photograph, evenings and weekends, and this is your busiest time of year. So you are like so busy photographing these minis, which probably means you're not charging enough, but that's another story. Then, at least, I think that pre-selling is kind of the smartest way to do it because then, every time you pick up your camera and go on location, that every single family that walks in front of it, it's $500 or $750 or $600 or whatever that is. And they've pre-bought this collection. And then, of course, you're going to post them and they're going to love them and maybe they will buy more. But at least at bare minimum that if I go out today, if I photograph 5 families, I made $2,500 or I made, $5,000, whatever it is.
That's what the amount of effort will equal for me. And I'm good with that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and some of these photographers are like building sets outside and stuff like that. So remember you have an investment to cover as well.
Right.
So I think that there's a way to do this profitably, comfortably, like with where you're comfortable with the process. You know what I mean? And I know that in-person sales is scary for a lot of people. I know it's so easy to just like put them up in an online gallery and then just sell online. But my friend actually would love for you to meet her sometime. Her name is Stacy Larson. She's actually a friend of mine from Tampa, and she gave me this advice. I took a workshop. It was the first thing I ever did as trying to be a professional. I met her because I took her workshop. And it was called Lunch. And she was making a case for why she does her sales in person. Because the first time you look at this, she did newborn work or so much newborn work. And so she's like, the first time they cry, they cry, and there's so much emotion, and they gasp, and you hear it, and you're also doing it with them. And it's just like you're playing off each other's feelings, and it's just this thing. Well, imagine the first time you watched it was on a slideshow that you watched from home, and sure, you gasp and you cry and then whatever, but then you want to see it again. So like you show like somebody comes over and you're like, oh, I got to show you the slideshow. And then you watch it again and you gasp, but you don't cry. Or maybe you cry, but you don't gasp. But you know what I mean? And then the third time, you don't have any physical reaction at all. You know what I mean? And then the fourth time. And so the more they start to look at, and the fourth time you start to go, God, my arm looks fat in that one. You know what I mean? And maybe I don't like that one. Gosh, did the baby's face look weird in this one? Maybe I don't need that one. And then you start to get hypercritical, and the sale just starts to nosedive when people are by themselves and they have the opportunity to relook at it and inspect it and inspect it and inspect it. All the magic dies from their initial reaction. The initial reaction is the time to make the sale.
The overwhelming majority of purchases made in the United States, maybe even the world, but certainly in the United States, is made on initial impact. Period. You have to have those shoes, you have to have it, because if not, your only other choice is you have to walk out of the store without it. It's the same thing with what we do. You sit down and they're looking at them and they come up on the screen and they're gone. They have to now buy it, or they have to walk out that door and never see it again. And this is another big reason why I don't do, what are you called when you do like a pre-thing on social media?
Oh, a sneak peek.
I never do a sneak peek, because if you're going to do a sneak peek, then do it something you don't want to sell, because they're never going to buy it.
Well.
Yeah. But it's the truth. I mean, and I will sometimes, if they're trying to choose, I've been in the sales room before, and if they're trying to pick between this one or that one, I'll look at them in the eye and I'll say, and obviously if I have a relationship and I feel comfortable, but I'll say, guys, this is what it boils down to. Which of these images are you okay with not ever seeing again?
Oh, you take that knife and you just stick it in and then you twist it.
And I mean, and they go, what? Huh? Yeah, but, but it's true. It's like, if this is what we're doing, if we're picking, if this is what we need to do here, then one of these you're never going to see again. So it's the same thing with in-person selling. They have to buy what they want to see again. And, online galleries or online postings, sneak peeks, all those things take all the impact out of it. And you're exactly right. They just resort to, I don't know, that one's okay. Whereas, the first time they saw it, they loved everything about every single thing.
Right, exactly. And the other thing that I think comes to mind here when you say that, because it sounds like so like, whoa, what do you mean? Like what, You can never start to feel bad that you're denying somebody a picture of themselves or their family, because this is your business. This is how you make money. This is the product that you make and sell. And so like if I went to a cobbler and I went to a shoe store.
I see what you did there.
It's a callback. But if I went to a shoe store for like handmade beautiful shoes and I just totally fell in love with these beautiful shoes, I wouldn't, and those beautiful shoes were made for me in my perfect size and they custom did it for me. I could not expect, just because those shoes fit me so perfectly and I was so in love with them and they were so made just for me, I couldn't expect them to just like maybe give them to me for free or give them to,
or make you an extra pair,
or maybe an extra pair, or maybe they'll hang on to them until I'm ready to do it. Right. You know what I mean? Until I'm ready to buy them. I mean, the truth of the matter is that person makes a product, and either I'm going to buy it or I'm not going to buy it. But you don't owe people this work. Once you make it, you don't owe it to them. And I think that's a hurdle. That's a hurdle that people need to get around. I know that it's hard for me too. I've had people in here this week who have not been able to make up their minds because they just can only really, it's like headshots especially. Well, I can't imagine adding on so many more. But I mean, I just love that one, but I love this other one and I love this other one. And, you got to make a decision.
Yeah, because you do. It's hard. It's easy to feel bad. Well, and then you feel like you're denying them. No, you're not, because I can't think of anything else, anywhere else I shop that I'm like, well, I kind of want both of those, purses, or I want both.
You can't guilt the person into selling you both of them or giving you one and selling you the other one.
No, but we fall down that rabbit hole so easily. I do it. At this point in my career, I still will all of a sudden start feeling bad if I have a mom sitting there and senior. Just the other day, God, but I love this. I can't, I'm like, I start feeling bad. And then I'm like, whoa. Why am I feeling bad about this? They hired me. They knew my prices. They knew what this was before they ever, came in here. This is not a charity. I did not force anybody into this.
Nope.
I got to stick to our guns, and same thing. Mini sessions, full sessions, whatever it is.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. So I feel like I don't know who needed to hear that today.
I don't either.
What I mean? I think everybody.
I needed to hear it earlier.
I need to hear it because we're getting into the biggest sales time of the year, and like we need to hear it. This is how you put put food on your table and do all those things. So giving mini sessions away, mini sessions should be a sampling of what you do and not a super closeout discount sale of the same thing that you always do. You know what I mean? And because what's going to happen, and it happened to me, and it will for sure happen to you guys out there if it hasn't already happened to you, is your awesome clients that have always been good clients, they move into the waiting for your sale clients.
Yes. Yeah. And it's that time of year because all of us are starting to get hey, are you guys doing any fall minis? Are you doing any holiday minis? I'm like, why would you even think that? But people are just going through. They obviously don't know us or our business or whatever, and then you have to respond. No, we do these quick takes or whatever. But it's like I was just thinking about this. It's like if you go to a tapas restaurant, right? If you go to a tapas restaurant, or if you go through Costco and they have that little tiny cup of like whatever they're trying to sell, they don't all of a sudden feel guilty and give you a plate full. They just give you a little sampling, and then you can come back and buy more, go all in, or you can just be fine with that and walk away. Same thing with like, anything that's a sampling. If we were at a wine tasting, they weren't going to feel bad and give us the entire bottle, even though we could possibly try and maybe even talk about it. But it's what it should be. It should be a sampling of one thing that you do to kind of make them come in. If they're just going to be mini clients, that's great. You know what? As long as you're charging appropriately, as long as it's not cannibalizing your true brand and what you do, great. And, there's some studios out there that maybe that's all they do. They do minis every quarter or every month. That's great too. As long as, here again, goes back to, are you charging appropriately? Are you running a sustainable business model? This idea of, 40 retouched image files for a couple $100, I don't care how many, you have to do so many of those to be profitable that I don't know when you would sleep. Like, because I imagine you're probably doing all that work yourself.
Yeah, because you're at that point, you're not charging enough to really feel comfortable outsourcing the retouching. Because that cuts into your bottom line when you start doing that. Right. And if you're giving away 20 files or 40 files or whatever, what reason do they have to come to you for a full session at that point? Because frankly, that's about how many images I show,
a full session
just that I show to prove.
How long is that mini session? You got 40 deliverable files.
I know.
I mean, wow.
Yeah. Well, and that all comes down to like,
I don't know. It's that time of year. Yeah. It's that time of year, and I have no problems with them. We do them. I have no problems with including, files in some of my larger collections, or you can add them on. I have no problem with that at all. I know there's some people that, will damn me to hell for saying that, but I don't. It's what the market wants, and I don't like saying no, so I just find a way to make money on it and be okay with it. But we love ours. They're very profitable. They're very, very, very custom. I mean, they're very tailored. There's not a lot of flexibility.
Are they Mary Fist tailored?
They're Mary Fist tailored. Exactly.
I almost couldn't get it out.
You did there. That was a good one. Yeah. Wow. You're full of it today.
I am full of something.
Oh man. Well, this has been good. I hope people that are doing it, and listen, I mean, if you're doing minis and have some like great tips that want to share, we'd love to hear.
Oh yeah, we totally would love to hear them. And you guys, if you don't already know, there's several ways that you can get a hold of us. You can,
Here we go.
You can follow us on Instagram at Get Your Shoot Together. You can follow us on Facebook at Get Your Shoot Together, and you can leave comments there as well. And you can email us at girl@getyourshoottogether.com. And you can subscribe to us on all of the podcasting platforms. But better yet, Mary, did you know that iTunes turned into something else? It's like Apple Podcasts now. It's not iTunes anymore.
Yeah, I noticed that. I did. Didn't know that, but I know
it's going to take me a long time to change that branding in my head.
Right.
But you can actually leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, and that's actually what helps us get the word out that this podcast exists. They'll start showing it more. We'll start ending out in more searches, and we'll start building a much bigger audience and be able to offer many more things, including possibly
that's the plan.
Going around and talking in person, and maybe having a couple of, we've been talking about webinars. Possibly.
Webinars and some merch and swag and all kinds of fun stuff. Maybe even a few things in time for the holidays. Talk about perfect gifting.
you just made me start sweating.
I know, because we got to get our shoot together first. Anyway, we have lots of awesome requests, and there's been so many great comments and requests for things, and we're working on it, guys. We really are. On top of everything else, we're kind of juggling, but we love this and we have fun, and so glad that you guys tune in and let us know what you want to hear about. Leave some reviews and leave some topics. We love to hear it.
We're very glad that you are enjoying it, as are we. So we will see you guys next time.
Thanks, y'all.